Toastmaster Chris Myers. Chris has been in the club off and on since 1982 and values the many contributions it has made to his international business as an architect. Reaching into the past, he is here to give a talk titled, Come Forward to Row. Please welcome Toastmaster Chris Myers.
Thank you. I do a Jeff Bridgen act.
Keep going.
57 years ago, I gained admittance to England's oldest university in the city of dreaming spires. How many people know Oxford? I was a thin boy. I did have no muscles. I was relatively useless at games. And to be honest with you, my sportsmaster said, you should have been a girl. I'm going to go into the university and I'm going to excel not only intellectually, but I'm going to excel at sports. So what do? My sportsmaster tells me, rowing. We're going to beef you up. Well, I'm not sure I wanted to be beefed up. But I looked at the rowing environment and I realized that rowers, oarsmen, were very attractive to women. And so I thought, yeah, I may as well join. So I joined. And in my college, there were 4 divisions of rowing. I came in at number 3, division number 3, which meant basically that in a rowing 8, where 8 men are rowing and 1 cox is steering, 16, 17 people were much better than I was. I never left Division 3. And despite the fact that I continued to row for the entire college career, I was never selected to go much higher than Division 3. Now, I need to tell you basically that in rowing, and here we have a past master over here, Mr. Ivan, who has been at Royal Henley, and he got much further along than I did. But at Oxford, we have a thing called bumps. And in May, basically there are 100 boats per day on the river, each one leaving at the same time 100 yards behind the other, with the intention that you catch up the boat and you bump it, you go up 1 point in the division. And then eventually, if you get to the top of Division 3, you will then become into Division 4. Oh, sorry, so into Division 2. And basically, all my entire college career was spent trying to get to Division 2, and I never succeeded. Now, I have to tell you that rowing is an extremely physical component. So when you come forward to row, are you ready? And you paddle. We were in a Cox 4 one March, and the weather was appalling and it had been raining very heavily. And Thames Conservancy, which in Oxford is called the ISIS, had missed us. We were up a backwater and they were telling people to get off the river because they were going to release water. And we didn't know about this. And suddenly we saw a bore of water 1 foot high coming down the river. And the cox is crying, row, 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 you know. And we rowed into a navigational pole. And the rigger caught the pole and we broke in 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was rowing bow. We turned upside down, my feet locked in the boat. And for maybe 2 minutes, holding my breath, carried in cold water underneath this raging river, nearly drowned. I was probably within a few seconds of drowning because I was just about to give up, getting heavier and heavier, tracksuit, unable to get out of my shoes. Finally, I did succeed in getting out of my shoes, or I'm not be telling you the story now. And there were no accolades at the college because we completely wrecked this boat. It went over a weir, and I, for many years, kept a piece of wood about this long as the end of the Cox Fall. So where was all this going? Well, I was looking to eventually be selected somehow or another to be a dark blue, which is the colour of Oxford. And the next area that you move to is Royal Henley, where the boats from Division 1 took part, and where we were up against, unfortunately, the Americans, who were always much taller, more attractive. And so, basically, I never quite succeeded, although I went to Royal Henley on many, many occasions. Finally, the great boats, the single boat that would represent Oxford, or in the case of our rival Deadly College, University, Cambridge, the light blues, were selected to take part in what is known as the boat race. And this goes back to 1839, where these two college universities, the boats have been racing against each other over a 4-mile course, 4 miles. 4.2 miles from Putney to Mortlake on the River Thames, in the tideway, so you have the effect of the sea coming in and affecting the river. And that 4.2 miles is over in about 25 minutes. Oxford has won more times than Cambridge, I'm happy to tell you, since 1839, but of late, Cambridge is doing quite well. Occasionally, these boats end dead in terms of the amount of time that they take to run the course. And Oxford in 2008 finished ahead of Cambridge exactly 1 foot in a boat that is 62 feet long. So that will show you basically what's going on. That is my experience of rowing. Come forward to row. Are you rowing? Paddle and strike at 36. Thank you.